Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Light Within podcast. This space is where real stories lives and real voice matter. I'm your host today. My name is Prophet Ola King, and today I'm going to be talking about something that touches every single one of us: the weight we carry, life, hardship, and healing. Life can throw us a lot: failure, loss, grief, fear, change. And sometimes those weights can feel unbearable. But there's also something that we carry: strength, resilience, hope, healing. So today I'm going to be talking about the hard parts, the hidden parts, and the healing parts. All right. So you hear from me, and I will give examples of my live through heavy season and how I shine on the other side unscared but deeply human. So this episode may touches on difficult topics. So please take care of yourself while you're listening to this podcast. Let's begin. So before we talk about healing, I want to talk about hurt. The truth is, we all carry something, and this may be a secret, a diagnosis, a regret, a trauma, a dream that had died before it ever had a chance. We carry what people see and what they don't. Some of us smile through grief. Some of us function through depression. Some of us keep showing up while quietly falling apart. And this is real life, something that happens to every one of us. So I'm going to ask you, what weight are you carrying today? You don't have to name it out loud. Just acknowledge it. Give it space. It deserves to be seen. Right? It deserves to be seen. So I'm gonna be talking about myself today, and I'm gonna share some of my life stories, how I carry some of my heavy season and still I found healing. So as I've said, my name is Prophet Ola King, and I'm just going to delve into it. So I'm gonna ask you, as my listener, can you take yourself back into a time when you have, your life has felt especially heavy? What was happening at that time? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself sometimes. This is the beginning of healing. So for me, my, heavy moment where I felt really, really heavy was when I lost my marriage, and I did not think that could happen to me. I never saw it coming, even though a lot was happening. Sometimes in life, there's a bunch of things that could be happening to us, but we still cannot see the road. We still cannot see the light or where that thing is headed. But I never saw it coming, but I knew that a lot was happening. So at that moment, for me, it was the most heaviest part of my life, I think, for me. And that's because I have nurture and put in a lot of effort, a lot of resources. I went in hard, and I mean really, really hard. I love hard. I don't love easy or soft. I go in all the way. So I believe that, they say the how deep you love is how deep you get hurt. So I think that's what happened to me. So that moment was my heavy moment, heavy season, and that's what exactly what was happening at that time. And I would say that at that time I struggled with my thoughts, I struggled with my emotions, and during that season I found God to be more closer. I was closer to God. I was really, really closer to God at that time. I think sometimes in life, God bring us closer to Him with battles, war, struggle, hardship. This is how we get closer to God. I was close to God before, but that moment brought me even more closer. And I think that's the point right there, that there will be struggles, there will be hard times, but how you deal with it is what that matters most. Because if you don't deal with it as a Christian in a biblical way, you might fall apart completely. You need God, you need scriptures, you need faith, you need hope to put you together and to help you stand that season. So, another question I'm going to put out there to you, my listener, is did you feel like you could talk to others, right, about what you were going through, or why not? For me, I would say I didn't feel like I could talk to any other person but God, because I was afraid of what people are going to say. I was afraid people are going to judge me. I was afraid people are going to say she's a Christian. Why is she going through this? I was afraid because, I was afraid of a lot of things because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know anything that was happening. All I knew is that something is happening to me and I didn't understand why. And the reason why I was thinking that way, I would say I was a bit naive thinking like that, but now I understand why I was thinking like that. The thing is, when you have been faithful, when you have been good, you've been a Proverb 31 woman and you've done everything, and still things are not working out, you kind of like lost for word and ask, where did I go wrong? What happened? What did I not do? I did everything. So it's like you're looking for, you know, the right answers, but it's just not quite there. And you just got lost and you're like, so who am I going to tell? That was the moment for me. So the weight, what did carrying the weight looks like for me on a day to day, right? You might want to ask yourself that question as well. So for me on a day to day, carrying that weight, I don't know how to describe it, feels like, when you are just paralyzed, when you have no emotions, when you are leaving, but you're not actually leaving. So carrying that weight was a lot for me. I feel like part of me has been paralyzed and I became a new person entirely, a new person in Christ, a new prayer warrior. Everything changes for me. It's like that moment had to happen for me in order for me to transform into my new season. So sometimes bad season can also be our new season, can be our elevation, can be our transformation. So for me, I think I kind of like elevated into a new season spiritually, but physically, I felt like I was like, part of me was paralyzing or paralyzed. I put it that way, like part of me paralyzed. So that was it. And the turning point, I would say, for me, um, the turning point, I would say, what did the beginning of healing looks like for me? Well, for me, the beginning of healing, that was the beginning of healing actually for me. That was the beginning of healing. When I transformed and elevated into a new person in Christ, I was closer to God. I could hear God instantly. God speak to me every now and then. He gives me guidance and direction. That moment was my turning point, and at the same time, it was my peace and calm during the storm. It was my peace and my calm during the storm. During the storm, I was numb. I felt, a little different me. It was not there. But then the new me, I felt alive. I felt like I'm a new person, a new creation. So it was it was a divine moment for me, I'll put it that way. And yeah, so let's move on to another question for me. Another question would be, how would you carry your experience today? For me, my experience, I would carry it in a way I want to help others believe. I want to help others practice their faith, and help them believe that, no matter what you go through, you can always cope, and always learn that every hardship is another opportunity for you to grow, spiritually or physically, and believe that hardship will teach you things that you need or needed, you know, things that you need or needed. That's what hardship will teach you. That's what battles will teach you. There are some lessons that you need to own on your own. You need to own it. And if you don't own those lessons, you are not going to get it. You're going to miss that turning point for yourself. So you need to own some lessons. And the only way to own those lessons is for you to go through that hardship and for you to elevate and transform so you can have your healing. And through healing, you become a new creation. So that is my answer for that question. So moving on, if you could speak to the version of yourself that was in the middle of the pain, what would you say? I would say never lose hope. Never lose hope and keep praying. Keep praying. If you are going through any hardship at the moment, or you're carrying any heavy burden, heavy weight, please just take a moment. Let yourself speak to yourself. Let that sink into you. What you are carrying need to be seen. You may want to say it out loud. Talk to someone. Don't hold it all in, or you're just going to, paralyze yourself. So I would say, let that pain out. Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. And once that pain is out, that's where your healing begins. So don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed. You don't need to understand what people are going to say about you, or understand your healing, or what is happening. All that matter is that the weight needs to be seen. And that's your mark. That's your turning point. That's where you get your healing. If you're not allowing that weight to be seen, you're just going to keep carrying that weight over and over and over and over again. So today, if you are still in the middle of your heaviness, that's okay. Healing doesn't mean that, weight will disappear. It means that you're growing. Like I said, it's an opportunity for you to grow. So it just means that you don't have to carry it the same way. You carry it a different way. So if this episode brought something up for you, I encourage you to reach out, to a friend, a therapist, a journal, or even just yourself. Just write it down. Let it out. If you need to cry, go into a room, cry, and let it out. You do not have to carry that weight alone. It is not your battle. Let God carry it for you. Let God hear you. Cry out to Him. If you have a friend, you have a therapist, talk to someone. Do not carry the weight alone. And I think that's where most people go wrong. We feel like, oh, I can't talk to anyone about this. I'm going to feel ashamed. What are people going to say? Or because of our status, or because of your, class, or whatever it may be. No, it's the wrong way, the wrong path. So before I close, I want you to leave with this question. What might healing looks like for you? Not in the future, not today. Even if it's small, even if it's just breathing, what might it look like? So thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on my next podcast. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are carrying a lot, and still you are here. I believe God has a purpose for you. So join me on my next podcast. I believe this will change your life. Thank you very much. I'm your host, Prophet Ola King.